Mary had a little lamb.
From the classiest radio station on the air, this is...
Welcome to the Black Rabbit's Curse, where every shadow hides a sinister verse. Hear the airs thick with dread and tales of terror twist in your head. Into the dark unknown, where fear takes root and chills the bone. Beware, dear traveler, for once you're here. The curse may linger year after year. The Blood Bank, a Black Rabbit's Curse original, a Charles Drew horror story. Blood saves lives. That is what Dr. Charles Drew helped prove to the world through his pioneering work with blood preservation and blood banking. But what if blood carried more than oxygen? What if it carried memories, fear, pain, the final thoughts of the dead? And what if every blood transfusion passed a piece of that consciousness into someone else? In 2026, workers renovating an abandoned hospital discovered a sealed underground room. Inside were hundreds of old blood bottles. The room had no electricity, yet it was freezing cold, and every bottle was still full. At the center sat a black notebook marked CRD. Inside, one sentence had written repeatedly, "Blood remembers." Dr. Marcus Reed, a black hematologist, was brought in to examine the bottles. Some were nearly 90 years old. They should have been useless. Instead, the blood was moving, slowly swirling inside the glass. Marcus reached towards one bottle. The blood suddenly pressed against the side nearest to his hand. Then, tap. Another bottle moved. Tap. Then another. Soon, hundreds of bottles were tapping together. Marcus listened. It wasn't random. It sounded like a heartbeat. Boom, 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 boom. One bottle suddenly shattered. Blood splashed across the floor. The lights went out. A woman whispered beside Marcus, "Where's my daughter?" When the lights returned, the blood was gone. Marcus studied the old notebook. Most pages contained medical research. Then the writing changed. Patients receiving transfusions reported memories belonging to donors. One patient described a childhood home he had never visited. Then another spoke the same name of the dead donor's mother. Another dreamed about being murdered, exactly the way the donor had died. Then Marcus found the warning. Blood retains emotional memory. Death produces the strongest imprint. Never mix large quantities of blood from violent deaths. Below it, separate memories remain weak. Together, they communicate. Marcus kept reading. His stomach tightened. When enough memories connect, they began believing they're still alive. His computer suddenly turned on. Letters appeared by themselves. Marcus. Then, "Your blood is here too." Marcus discovered he had received emergency blood transfusion as a baby at the same hospital. He called his mother. She became quiet when he mentioned it. "You changed afterwards," she said. How?" "You started saying names." Marcus froze. What names?" His mother whispered, "Sarah?" Marcus looked across the laboratory. One bottle read, "Sarah Williams." His nose began bleeding. One drop landed on Drew's notebook. Suddenly, Marcus saw another person's memory. A black woman laying on the operating table decades earlier. Doctors surrounded her. She was screaming. Marcus somehow knew her name, Sarah. Then another memory slammed into him. A soldier dying, a mother bleeding during childbirth, a man shot, hundreds of deaths. Marcus collapsed. When he opened his eyes, he was standing in front of the blood storage room. Someone was knocking from the inside. Knock, knock, knock. Marcus whispered, who's there?" Hundreds of voices answered, You are. Soon, hospitals across the city reported strange incidents. Patients with old transfusions began dreaming memories that weren't theirs. Blood bags moved by themselves. Refrigerator hummed with voices. People woke screaming names they had never heard before. Marcus finally understood. For generations, donated blood had traveled between millions of people. Donor to patient, patient to future donor, person to person, country to country. Blood has created a biological network, and memories inside it were connecting. Marcus opened Drew's notebook. New words appeared. "The network is complete," Marcus whispered. What the hell are you?" His veins suddenly bulged. Something moved beneath his skin. His reflection smiled, even though Marcus wasn't smiling. Then the reflection said, "You think blood belongs to humans?" Marcus stared. The reflection leaned closer. "Humans belong to blood." Beneath the laboratory, Marcus discovered another hidden chamber. Inside stood one enormous tank filled with blood. A brass plate read, "Prototype reservoir. Do not transfuse." Something floated inside. A man? For one terrible moment, Marcus thought it looked like Charles Drew. Then the figure dissolved. It wasn't a body, it was a memory. Marcus opened the final pages of the notebook. I was wrong. Blood does not store consciousness. Marcus kept reading. Consciousness stores itself inside blood. Then the brain is only the receiver. Marcus whispered. What does that mean? The tank began pounding like a gigantic heart. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. One final sentence appeared. "We have never been carrying blood. Blood has been carrying us." The tank exploded. The next morning, every hospital laboratory in the world began reporting the same impossible result. Human blood types were disappearing. A, B, O, gone. Everybody's blood was becoming identical. Scientists tested the new blood. Hidden inside its DNA was something ancient, older than humans, older than mammals, possibly older than the complex life itself. Marcus opened Drew's notebook again. Fresh writing appeared. You misunderstood my research. Then, I wasn't studying whether blood remembers humans. Marcus stopped breathing. I was studying whether blood remembers what existed before humans. Suddenly, everyone inside the hospital stopped moving. Doctors, patients, nurses all turned towards Marcus, their mouths open together. One voice came from them all. Hello, Marcus. Marcus whispered, who are you? They smiled. Donor Zero, the first human. Their smiles widened. No, the first blood. Marcus backed away. The voice continued. Billions of years ago, something entered Earth's oceans. Something intelligent. It needed bodies to survive. So it built them. Fish, mammals, humans. Marcus looked at his veins. No! The people stepped closer. You believed evolution created blood. Blood created evolution. Outside, everyone in the city suddenly stopped moving. The entire world became silent. Then every human heart stopped for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and restarted at the exact same moment. Ba-boom. One heartbeat, billions of bodies. Marcus' phone lit up. One final message appeared. Thank you for putting us back together. Then his daughter called from home. Daddy? Her voice trembled. My blood just talked to me. Marcus whispered. What did it say? Silence. Then his daughter answered. It said humans aren't the last body. And somewhere beneath the abandoned hospital, one final blood bottle began shaking. It labeled red, next species. Something tiny moved inside. Then a baby started laughing. Sit here, heart still racing, eyes wide open. Remember, the terror doesn't end when the video does. You may try to forget, but the shadows have a way of following. The whispers grow louder each night, don't they? So go ahead, close your eyes, if you dare. But know this, you're not alone. Not anymore. But the Black Rabbit's curse has seen you, and it's waiting. So what happens when the lights go out? If you want to find out, make sure you come back. But next time, will you be ready? Sleep well. Or don't.